Assalamu alaikum. How to prepare for a lecturer job without melting down. I'm Shamim Ejaz. I'm lecturer in English. I've done my master MS in England and at the moment I'm doing PhD. Let's talk about, in this video we are going to talk about 5 things. 1. What type of guidelines are there for preparation? What will be the pattern of this test? And what type of strategies we need to use? And how should we know about the syllabus and what is actually the syllabus of the test? And we must not forget about the resources that include books, news, newspapers. Generally, we will talk about lecturer job in all subjects, and specifically we will talk about English lecturer job. First of all, BPS 17 male female in various all subjects. This paper will contain multiple choice and they have defined clearly the guidelines about what it will be included. The 100% paper, it's 80% will be contained on subject area, and they clearly define that it will be focused on the master's level. Either you are from zoology, botany, whatsoever is your subject. It will be your master's degree where you have to focus. And next thing, the 20% of remaining of your test will be comprised from English journal and general knowledge. We will talk about what is English journal and general knowledge, how we will prepare for this in the later of the video. Next is lecturer in English BPS 17. It is just about English subject because it is a bit different from other subjects. So the paper is also contained on MCQs, multiple choice questions, and their focus will be the master's degree, but its division is a bit different. English literature 30%, linguistic 30%, English journal 30%, and general knowledge is 10%. So in this way, they comprise the whole paper. What will be the pattern of the subject as concerned with the whole thing? The number of questions can be vary. Sometimes they are 50, sometimes 100, and equally the time will be the same. If questions are 50, time will be 60 minutes, and if the questions are 100, you will be given the 100 minutes. Sometimes there is negative marking. 1 mark will be awarded for every right answer, but at the same time, if you made the mistake, so 0.25 means 4th part of your question number will be deducted. So you need to be very careful about the guidelines, about the instruction given on the paper. You should read whether there is any negative marking is involved or not. Next is how should we focus or where should we focus? It depends on your subject. When we talk about the literature, it always starts with the 14th century. So many of the time in SPSC or FPSC, means federal or provincial, you could see that subject preparation is always start from the 14th century up to the most recent literature of the English. And next part is the linguistic. We will talk about later that what is included in linguistic, a few forms of linguistic. And next is the grammar that sometimes comes in general English as well as in concern with the subject. Next question comes in our mind that where should we focus? especially when we are talking about the grammar. So it is really a very wide area, but we must see that there are a few things, because grammar is related to each other. Every single thing, if you start from parts of a speech, they will lead you sentence structure, vocabulary, summary completion, reading comprehension, confusing words, or they all are related to each other, and they will make a good type of circle when you understand. If you understand one thing, you will be very clear about the another. So these are a few things where you need to focus, where you need to learn. That if we talk about the sentence structures, at the same time you must be aware about the types of sentences: simple, complex, or compound. And if parts of speech, it means we are talking about noun, pronouns, adjective, everything. So you need to focus on these all things. And if we talk about the literature, what should be included? How we will prepare for literature part of the paper? There are a few tips. Your main focus need to be about the background of the age, because background of the age will help you out to understand writers, dramatists, or novelists of that age. So you must be aware what was the social, cultural, and political trends of that age. Next is the significant fashions of that age. Then you must be aware about prominent authors, dramatists, poets, novelists of that age, and very concrete information about the main works of every figure. If we talk about Shakespeare, you must be aware about why he was famous, what was his masterpiece, why his tragedies, comedies. You need to keep your focus on them. Next one is that what type of figure of speech were in fashion during that century. For example, 16th century, 16th century was very famous due to the old sonnets, comedy, tragedy, and 18th century especially focus on lyrical ballads. So you must be aware about these things. And we already talk about that, what type of terms you need to learn about. Now we think about that, what to learn about any prominent figure. Means when you are focusing on some person as Marlowe, so what should you learn about him? You should learn about every prominent figure, their date of birth and death. What was the special characteristic of that person? Why he was so famous? What work he given to literature as a masterpiece? What was the theme and special ingredients of his or her work? And most important, characters of their work. And even sometime your paper can be filled with some lines from the special works of some writers. Now next is the linguistic. What is included in the linguistic? Linguistic is actually understanding of the language, that how we know about the structure, use, or meaning of language. So there are a few things, for example, phonetics, diction, semantics, morphology, phonetics, phonology. These are the important things where you should focus your attention, or focus yourself, that you need to learn about them and important things regarding. Next is how to prepare for general knowledge. General knowledge can be divided into three categories gradually. First focus need to be on world, next is on Pakistan, and then Sindh, because we are here. Our focus is SPSC, Sindh Public Service Commission. So that's why you need to learn about Sindh at the last. Regarding the world, famous world countries, their name, capital, currency, their important rivers, heads of states, and important news agencies, their famous days, what they celebrate most. And if our focus is Pakistan, so you should be aware about the provinces, their importance, their status as from their length, from their width, from their population, what type of mountains are there, which type of rivers, where they are, what are their names, their traditional new names, and the old presidents of Pakistan, prime ministers of Pakistan. And you must focus on all current ministers and press related information and the neighboring countries where we are sharing our border with. So we must aware about these things. And if concerned with the Sindh, so who is the CM at the moment, who was the first CM of the Sindh, and who have been the most famous, or why he was famous as a chief minister of Sindh. And at the moment, educational ministers, districts, bridges, all type of these things you must be aware. And one thing that I want to tell you, that when you are preparing for any test, bear in mind there are no any shortcut. And now the resources. Where there is a will, there is a way. If you are really interested in success, you surely will find out various resources. But here I'm giving you a few clues, as the websites of the FPSC and SPSC books, especially those were recommended during your degree, master's degree, English literature, linguistic, and concern with every literary figure. Other resources can be the news and newspapers or news bulletins. These are the most important thing where you should focus on. And we already talked, there is no any shortcut. So focus your all energies on deep learning, because it will be the way that lead you towards success, and then for your interview success, and then for your class success. Thank you.